I was 8 years old. My mother took me to the church in Encinitas. First, she had attended a lecture by Master in San Diego. We lived in San Diego. And she came home just glowing and said, I have to keep going to this wonderful man. So then when he established a routine, I believe in the Grand Hotel for a while, we attended his lectures. And I was younger than 8 years old at that point, I believe, 7 perhaps. But then when he had established church, I was 8, and we went every week up to Encinitas from San Diego. Now that was a long trip, especially in those days. There was no freeway, so we were always late. And that picture that Master has standing on the lawn with the Easter service that he had, the whole audience was seated. My mother, my brother, and I are standing in the background because we were late. He was a very dynamic speaker, and he said, I am not preaching, I don't preach, I lecture. And lecture he did. And he lectured stuff that was way over my head for 8 years old, but I grew into it kind of and got to know him. And then in Encinitas, after this was, the ashram was built, we went every week, and I would see him writing at his desk. He was writing the autobiography then, and many of his other writings. So it was kind of a family situation. We'd go in and out. I'd see Daya Ma, and she was 17 and I was 8, so she's my big sister. She was always, yes, Masters, always just darling. I have letters from both of them from 1940 on, personal letters that they signed and wrote to me and guided me through my life. And they've been a wonderful blessing to me and to my family. Master guided my career. I wanted to be an opera singer, and so I sang from the time I was 5 on professionally. So I had to go self-taught, and I was in choirs in high school and school and everything, and that was all I knew about music. But I did sing with bands all the time to fill in my monetary needs. And when I went to USC, I had more opportunities to be in Hollywood and do a lot of show work. And my final concert was in Everett 45 years ago, I guess. And I practiced and practiced again, taught myself, and we ended up, we had 200 in the choir on stage and 200 in the orchestra, and I was the singing star. And that's what I had always wanted to do. So I did it, and I finished, and I have a tape of that. But I know Master didn't want me to go in. I wanted to be in the movies. I wanted to do all this and that, and I did acting and stuff like that. But that wasn't what I ended up doing. I instead went to college, got my 4-year degree, then went on to USC for my MA, my master's degree in special ed. I am an educational psychologist for children. And then I went on and did work for my PhD at various universities where I taught. I taught about 6 different universities. Seattle University brought me up to the Northwest. Incidentally, Master called me in before I came up here to the Northwest. He knew I was coming up. And he said, "What do you do for a living?" And I told him. He said, "Oh, okay. That's fine." So I guess I got the okay from Master to come up, and I did that, and I pursued that. And I have taught in, as I said, universities and singing all the time because I supplemented my income that way, and I was on radio in Spokane, and I have tapes and recordings. And so I had a fun life, and I didn't become a movie star. But that's good, because I don't think I'd want to be one now. Madame Gallicurci, who was an opera star, was there, as she was every week. And so Master said, go ahead and sing for her. So I got up on the stage, or the dais, or whatever, and I thought, oh, piece of cake, you know, I can do this. Madam, watch out, here comes another star. And I got up and I opened my mouth and I sounded like a frog. I thought, oh no, I was only 12 and I couldn't get anything to come out. And I know Master did that to me. He didn't want me to go that route. And I'm grateful. I felt he was really my pseudo-father, you know, and Daya Ma, my big sister. So yes, I wrote them and they responded, and I do have the original letters. I cherish those. And I also had his first book, autobiography, that he had signed over to my mother in 1946. And I sent that and a number of the original letters down to headquarters so they would have that for the archives. Well, both David and I had colon cancer, but I've had 47 medical procedures. I counted them. So, and in this last year, it's been really rough because I've had 5 cancer surgeries. Yes, I was dying. And Master came to me in a form. I saw him. He came and took my hand and took me up to the astral world with him. And I heard music and angels were singing, and it was just beautiful, and it's in my book. Then I heard my son crying, Mom, you gotta come home. You gotta come back. So they said, out. They sent me back. So that's why I'm still here. I felt I had to write my experience with him intuitionally. He talks to me all the time intuitionally, and this was so very strong. So one day I asked David to sit at his typewriter, and I sat at my dining room table over there for 17 hours straight. Master dictated this book to me, and I wrote, and I'd hand a piece of paper to David, and he'd type it up, and that's how we put the book together. And then we published it ourselves. Oh yes, I loved the movie Awake, and it touched my heart because I got to see so much of Master and his background, and I felt right at home, and I was not really there, but I was certainly there in feeling and in remembrance. One time he wanted to see me at headquarters. In fact, he gave me Kriya probably 5-6 times from the time I was 12 on up. But he called me in he really was checking on me all the time. He didn't want me to go Hollywood, that's for sure. And not that I could have, but anyway, he didn't want that. But he called me in, and I walked in, and he was sitting in his usual chair, and so I said, hi, Master, you know, and he says, hello, and I forgot to pranam, and that bothered me for years. And so when David and I got married, Daya Ma wanted to okay him, so she said, come down, I want to meet him. So she did, and she okayed him. But I said, Daya Ma, I forgot to pranam when I saw Master that last time. And she said, well, get in there and do it. So I went in and sat down by his bed, and I said, I am sorry, Master, I forgot to do this. But I pranam. So she's wonderful. She's so dear to me. She's my big sister. She's 10 years older than she was, and God bless her. I'll be seeing her who knows when. I know I went down to Encinitas one time to visit, to stand in the place I had stood 60 years ago on that Easter lawn, and I stood there and I said, I'm home again, Master.